What's up, guys, and welcome back to another iteration of roasting/rating Letterboxd profiles. If you don't know what Letterboxd is, it's basically a social media platform, but for movies, and one of the main staple things about the platform is that everyone gets to select 4 of their favorite films, aka their top 4. And what I'm going to be doing, once again, is going in here and giving my rating/ranking of randomly selected users' profiles. Now, like I said, all of these have been randomly selected except one. We do have a user-submitted profile, and with that in mind, if you want me to check out and rate/roast your Letterboxd profile, let me know your username below, and I'll include it in the next video. And as always, this is fully for entertainment purposes. Alright, so first off, we're starting off with Cinema Joe. It's a patron. He lives in Los Angeles, California. He's watched 1,999 films. It's kind of annoying me that he needs to just watch one more film to make it a clean 2,000. He's watched 187 movies this year. This guy lives and breathes cinema. I gotta respect it. He's definitely doing some stuff. So, the top 4 films for him are John Wick Chapter 4, Titanic, Wagon Master, and The Insider. John Wick Chapter 4, I will say this, and I can say this with full certainty. I'm a big fan of action movies. I think that John Wick Chapter 4 is probably one of the best action movies ever made. It might be a bold claim, but personally, it has everything you'd ever want in an action movie. Excellent choreography, amazing gunfights, emotion, great soundtrack, awesome car scene. It's not really a car chase scene, but it's close enough. And I just love the whole idea of an entire town chasing after one dude as he tries to make it across town. It's really, really cool, honestly. I think that it's such an amazing send-off for the character as the final John Wick movie. And if you haven't seen it, you definitely gotta check it out. One of the best, honestly, action movies I've ever seen. Checks all the boxes, and I still remember watching it to this day. Next, we have the 1997 classic James Cameron, Titanic. Obviously, this movie was huge when it came out, and it's also aged pretty well. I did watch this like 2 years ago again, and I still thought that it holds up pretty well. I think it's a pretty long movie, along with a lot of James Cameron movies, but yeah, this was like the blockbuster at the time. It totally revolutionized what it means to make a profit in movies, basically, breaking a ton of records, along with a lot of James Cameron movies. Wagon Master, I've never heard of that, but it's directed by John Ford. Classic. This guy really wants to be a cinephile. I'm kidding. And then we have the Al Pacino, Russell Crowe classic thriller, The Insider. Also a very solid movie. Really like it. Alright, let's peruse a little bit more in this profile. Solid 4 picks. Let's take a look here. Challengers, okay, 5. 5 out of 5 challenge. I wouldn't give Challengers a 5 out of 5. It was very good, but I don't think I would give it a total 5 out of 5 on this one. Accepted gave it 3 stars and seems to be comparing the movie Accepted with the Stanley Kubrick classic 2001: A Space Odyssey. Long and boring, short and hilarious. Has 0 Green Day songs, features the hit single Holiday. Just, this is a funny little way to make a review. That's clever. I like that. And then randomly throwing in there Child's Play. Great horror movie, honestly. Sinners, 4.5. I would not give this movie 4.5. I think it's 3.5 at best. Yeah, that's just me. But this is a very solid profile. I'll give this a very solid 8 out of 10. Alright, so this is our user-submitted profile by Terrence Fletcher, aka Whiplash Drummer, on Letterboxd. So, his 4 favorite films are Whiplash, Parasite, The Shawshank Redemption, and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Excellent selection, honestly. So first off, Whiplash. Whiplash is on my top 4. It's one of my favorite movies ever. I think it's an absolute masterpiece from Damien Chazelle. From start to finish, J.K. Simmons is absolutely goated. But I love the end of the movie so much. It's one of my favorite endings to a movie. If you haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil it. But just the ambiguity of who really is the winner at the end, and just an amazing sequence if you haven't seen it. The whole movie's just tension, really jarring, really in your face, but so amazing on so many levels. Love this movie so much. Next we have Parasite. This movie was very big when it came out. It won Best Picture at the Oscars, along with a bunch of other awards. And I like Parasite. I think that it's a really solid movie. Bong Joon-ho is a great director, and I think that he's really coming to his own, at least in this movie he has. I don't like all his movies, but I do think that he is a very good director. Like I said, I do stand by that. Parasite, I think, is his best movie, I'd say. Very sharp, very clean, great commentary about class and finance and all that stuff. And just an amazing sort of intertwined creative story. I love how creative they get with it. So, yeah, very good movie. Next, Shawshank Redemption, the classic. It's a safe pick. If I had to say anything about the profile, that's a very safe pick, but you can't go wrong with it. I think that Shawshank Redemption is a classic feel-good story. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out. It's a long movie, but it really is one of the more human movies that you're going to see. Just something up there with, Forrest Gump and movies like that really just make you appreciate life, and that's one of those movies. Great acting, great performances, great score, and this is one of those movies that everything lines up perfectly. It is number one on IMDb Top 250. I wouldn't put it up there. I don't think it's number one. It's overrated in that sense, but very solid movie. And then finally, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Absolutely love this movie. I think that Jack Nicholson is one of my favorite actors. He's goated. Honestly, I think that every single movie that he's in, he brings a level of charisma, he brings a level of charm that non-movies can, and especially in a movie like this one, you needed a character like that, and he just totally sold it. So really good movie. I really like this one. Again, another classic safe pick, but yeah, no, these are all amazing. This is very standard. I do see a lot of these movies. That's the only thing that I'd say about this, but hey, there's a reason why everybody picks them. Absolutely love it. Love these four. Tropic Thunder. This movie aged horribly. I mean, I would say it aged well, in my opinion. I think that while it may not have been made today, I think that's what makes it even better watching it nowadays. But yeah, very solid profile. Thanks for submitting your username. I give this a 9 out of 10. Very, very good list. Not much roasting going on in this episode so far, because next we have John Mears from Dorking, UK. We're going to the UK here. 1,427 films under his belt. The man lives and breathes movies. Alright, so his favorite films are The Shining, Mother, Goodfellas, and Alien. Wait, before I go into that, no doubt my favorite films will change weekly, if not daily. I'm prone to hyperbole all the time. I like James McAvoy and Tom Hardy, Christopher Nolan, and Chan Wook Park are geniuses. Peter Sellers makes me laugh, and Nicole Kidman makes me puke. Wow, okay, alright, tell us how you really feel. The bio is a little disconjointed, but maybe it's like that by design, so I give you props for that. Alright, let's go to your top 4 here. The Shining. John, good pick. I think that Kubrick was a master, one of my favorite directors, and as one of his horror movies, if not the only horror movie I can think of that he actually made that was straight horror. Great movie. It's considered one of the best horror movies out there, one of the scariest movies. It's very good. I do really like it. I think cinematography is amazing. Again, like I said, Jack Nicholson is absolutely goated. Shelley Duvall, poor Shelley Duvall. She does great in the movie as well. Tragic how her life unfolded after the movie, but I think that there is a great sense of mystery, a great sense of unease throughout the whole movie. Just a very solid horror movie. Another great film from the master, Stanley Kubrick. Not my favorite of his movies, but still very good. Next we have Darren Aronofsky's Mother. I think that this movie was very polarizing. Some people hated it, some people loved it, and it looks like you loved it. I liked the movie. I thought that it was extremely ambitious for what it did, and I like that there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. It's really trying to say something that a lot of people didn't really capture. It seems a little nonsensical when you watch it once, but if you really think about it or read more into it, you can see the message that's being said throughout it. Very biblical in many ways, and has one of the most disturbing scenes I think a lot of people can agree with, at least in modern big movies like this one. One of the most disturbing scenes out there in the past couple of decades, I'd say. But yeah, very, very solid movie. I definitely wouldn't put it as one of my favorites, though. Is not the most enjoyable watch. That's probably the main reason, but very solid movie. Next, Goodfellas. This was on my list for the longest time. Goodfellas, one of the best, if not the best, gangster film ever made alongside The Godfather, of course. But love this movie so much. Martin Scorsese, legend. The goated three here, Joe Pesci, Robert De Niro, and Ray Liotta, rest in peace. What legend. I mean, this movie is just great on so many levels. It tells the story of this gangster and his basically his whole journey from becoming a gangster and everything that happens. And it's just awesome. I love this movie, filled with humor, filled with suspense, filled with action, just everything you would want in a gangster movie. This is the epitome of what makes a good one. Goated movie, amazing pick. And then finally, Alien. This one has come up before on a few of the other ones I've looked at. Pretty solid. I do like Alien. It totally revolutionized sci-fi horror. So, very good pick. I could see why people really like this one and resonate with it. And there's been so many Alien movies after that, but this is the one that started it all. Very good for here. Let's peruse a little bit more. Let's see what happened here. Bohemian Rhapsody. I'm going to be angry if this wins Oscars, as I was when The Theory of Everything did. Yeah, I remember this movie getting a lot of backlash. Not really backlash, but hate because of the awards that it was winning. Yeah, I don't think that this movie was worthy of any awards. It was pretty decent, but it really didn't blow me away. I'm not a huge fan of biopics, but yeah, that one's alright. What the hell is this? Thumb Wars? The Phantom Cuticle. At the time of writing, this film has no 5-star ratings. I can only surmise that Letterboxd isn't the community that I thought it was. Okay, I gotta click into this. We gotta actually take a closer look at what this movie is. Every hand has a thumb. 2.899 ratings? Is that what I'm looking at? The hilarious story of Relentless Young Farm Thumb. So what is this? Star Wars but with thumbs? It's 30 minutes. Okay, alright. That all checks out here. Hilarious. Gotta check that out. Anyways, back to Mr. Mears' profile. I give this one a solid 8.5 out of 10. I'd give it 8.5. Very solid. Can't be mad at it. And I agree, the makes 2 stars. Alright, next up we have Jonathan Fuji. Currently on YouTube, wondering why more people haven't seen Storks. So I did check out his YouTube channel, and it looks like he's done one of these. So now I'm going to be the one that's roasting his profile. Now I'm the one in charge. He's watched 1,725 films, and then 118 this year, 20,000 followers. Alright, respectable. Very respectable. Alright, Jonathan, let's take a look. Okay, Storks, SpongeBob SquarePants movie, Paddington 2, and Babylon. Alright, so tell me why you're 5 years old. Okay, no, I'm kidding. I haven't seen Storks, so I do go into the demographic of the people you're talking about here. I have not seen it. So, you know, maybe I gotta check it out. Maybe it's something that I'm missing. Storks, SpongeBob SquarePants, the movie. Okay, you know what? It's goated. It is goated, and SpongeBob SquarePants, one of the greatest animated movies. Sorry, one of the animated shows out there. Excellent classic childhood, and the movie's just as quirky as the show and stuff like that. So love it, love the characters, and some of the random cameos are also hilarious. It's respectable. You know, I wouldn't put it in my top, but I give you credit for having the cojones to put it up there. That is a very respectable move right there. Paddington 2, I really like Paddington. I think it's such a well-made, wholesome movie, both of them. So very respectable. And this one right here, Babylon. I gotta give it to you. This was a movie that went under everybody's radar. And when I saw it, I said, people need to revisit this one. Babylon by Damien Chazelle. Great cast, honestly. Margot Robbie, Brad Pitt, Tobey Maguire. So many other people in this movie. Totally underlooked in every single way. It's a great movie. I can definitely see it being put on your top 4, and I respect you for that. I respect it. Alright, let's peruse a little bit. Alright, I almost thought he gave F1 1 star, but that's a heart. Again, I can't read. F1 the movie, sweating for 2.5 hours in the summer, the movie. Perfect. Elio, you didn't like Elio? We have nothing else to say about it, huh? 2.5, just kind of gonna slip that one in there. Father Bride and Materialists, I am in love with Celine Song's writing. I imagine you really liked Past Lives as well. Sinners, the kind of movie that reminds you why you fell in love with movies in the first place. 5 stars, like I said earlier in this video. I think this movie's slightly overrated, honestly. I don't think it's gonna be something that people are talking about later on from now. It's not bad, but I had problems with the movie. Want to check out my full review? It's on the channel. And Killer's the Flower Moon, nobody, Leo the entire movie. That is very accurate. That's pretty hilarious. All right, going back, Mr. Stork, I give you, Jonathan Fuji, you get a 7.5 out of 10 on this one. No, scratch that. I'm going to give you an 8. I'm looking at this now. There's no reason to go down in the 7s. So 8. I think Babylon is an excellent gem of a pick. Great movie. And then SpongeBob and Paddington also pulled it through. And I can't speak on Storks. So there you go. A 8 out of 10. All right. Next up we have Michelle. Movies are pretty cool, huh? Yeah, I totally agree with that. 2,313 films under her belt. 107 this year. I really got to catch up. I haven't seen a fraction of these people. These people are true movie buffs. I'm not. I'm falling behind. I feel bad about it. Who am I to roast/rate these, right? La La Land, My Neighbor Totoro, Magnolia, and Twilight. One of these is not like the others. Let's go through these. First off, loving the artwork here. The movie art. So if you are a patron, and this up here, I love this. If you're a patron on Letterboxd, this sounds like an ad right now, but if you're a patron on Letterboxd, I believe you get to choose the different movie art on some of the reviews that you do, or some of the movies that you showcase. So these alternative ones are really cool. I really like the simplistic nature of all these, especially the Magnolia one. That's sick. And Twilight, it's making it look like a good movie. So La La Land, another Damien Chazelle. That's the third Damien Chazelle movie tonight. Wow. Can't believe it. Amazing movie. I love this one. If you can't tell, I'm a Damien Chazelle fan over here. But yeah, La La Land, excellent movie. I love that it starts off as a musical. You think it's going to be a lighthearted musical, and it just ends up being a heartbreaking tale of romance and just sadness. But that's what makes it so good, and I love it. And I love the soundtrack. I love the acting of Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling in this one. A brilliant movie. My Neighbor Totoro, so I haven't seen it, but I am a big fan of Studio Ghibli's movies. I've seen a lot of them, but I just haven't gotten around to seeing this one, but I've only ever heard great things about it, and I love the Studio Ghibli movies. Those are great, really wholesome, amazing artwork, and just one of the rare instances where you can really tell that their heart went into the movies. And, you know, I'm hoping that AI doesn't terminate all that. And then Magnolia. I love this movie. As you can see, I gave it a heart there. Paul Thomas Anderson, one of his underlooked works, I feel. Just this amalgamation of all these individuals basically crossing paths. Or rather, the movie's basically telling this tale of all these different things going on, all at the same time, from all these individual characters. And I just love the idea of it. It's so random and so specific, yet so touching and so effective, especially the ending and how everyone's kind of going through their own thing, you know, and not necessarily in a good way, but with such a loaded cast. Tom Cruise, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Julianne Moore. I mean, the list goes on and on. There's so many. John C. Reilly. I mean, so many people in this movie, and yeah, a great ensemble cast. Amazing stuff. Love it. Love Magnolia. And then finally, Twilight. This is where you lost me, Michelle. You had me, you lost me. Twilight, it's teen junk, if you will. You know what I mean? This one's better than some of the other ones that came out after it. I'm not a fan, but you know what? To each their own, right? And this is, you know, I give you credit for putting this on there. This is something personal to you, not my cup of tea, as they say. So I see you loved Captain America, Brave New World, 1 star. The Kendrick song during the end credits was the most entertaining thing about this movie, so you loved it. You should rewatch it again for the soundtrack. I didn't see this one. I heard mixed things about it. The Room, half a star. Half a star on this one. The greatest Tommy Wiseau masterpiece. She's going to actually give it a half a star. I can only trust people who rate this movie a full 5 stars or half stars. Anything between that is not acceptable, but The Room is absolutely an amazing movie. I'm kidding. It's not. So back to the rating of this. Very solid list. I really like it. I really like the profile you got going on here. I'm going to give this one an 8. I feel like I've only been given 8s tonight, honestly. You're probably going to call me cheap, but it's an 8. It feels like an 8. Because I was going to go 7.5, but Twilight isn't enough to make it a 7.5 because the other 3 are great. Or at least the other 2, at least I could say. So Yeah, you know what? But in alternative universe, I give it a 7.5. And finally, we have Tristan, just a dude with questionable taste that likes to watch bad movies. 612 films. You're not in the thousands. Rookie alert. 36 this year. Neither am I. 36 this year. All right, let's take a look here. Favorite films: Back to the Future, The Empire, Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back, The Thing, and Parasite. All right, so Back to the Future, classic movie, classic adventure, action, comedy. Just has a combination of everything. Really one of those movies that really defined the era. Really good. Really like it. Classic pick. Star Wars. I hadn't seen much Star Wars. I'm surprised people didn't put on their list more, but Star Wars Empire Strikes Back, very good. Why do I not have it watched? I watched that. Great movie. One of the classics. One of the best Star Wars, to be honest, out there. The Thing, one of the best horror movies ever made. The definition of body horror. I mean, amazing. John Carpenter nailed it with this one. Suspenseful, unsettling, unnerving, and if you're into body horror stuff, this is the movie for you. And then Parasite. Again, we already went through Parasite. My thoughts on it. I'm not gonna repeat myself. You're not gonna make me. All right, let's take a look at your recent activity before giving final score. This will be the final profile of the night. Final Destination: Bloodlines. I gave it 3 stars. I effing love Rube Goldberg, Death Machine. So do I. I give this movie 4.5 though. Pretty sure I gave it a 4.5. Really good movie. So underrating it, honestly. 3 stars. I guess you must not like it that much. I haven't seen that. Big Wes Anderson fan here. Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Finally, the prophecy is filled. Every Diary of a Wimpy Kid film has been watched. I can die happy now. I applaud you, sir. I applaud you. All right. This one's classic. You played it safe. Should I just go 7.5 just to change it up? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do 8.3. You're going to get an 8.3. I'm changing it up completely. I really need to, you know what? I really need to choose other profiles. This is getting too linear here. Please send me your Letterboxd profiles below. If you want to see more, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. Stay up to date with the latest videos just like this. All support is greatly appreciated. Peace out.